Today, we're going to be talking about two subjects that I know you're going to love because it's about getting you on the water this summer. One of the subjects we're talking about today is social sandbar. The second subject we're going to talk about, which we'll actually start with, is summer boating preparation. I'm not putting that in the bloopers. Welcome to another episode of the Southern Boating Podcast. I'm Ian Sneed.
I'm James Anderson.
And today we're going to be talking about two subjects that I know you're going to love because it's about getting you on the water this summer. Now, before we start, I need you to do two things. The first one, and these are favors, right? So please do me these favors. The first one is leave a comment and let us know what's your favorite sandbar to go to, because that's one of the subjects we're talking about today is social sandbars. And our article from July has 18 sandbars across the eastern coast as well as the Great Lakes. So leave a comment with your favorite sandbar because we're going to use that to do research and update the list as we go. Second, subscribe to the channel before you forget, because let's face it, we want you coming back to watch. Now, the second subject we're going to talk about, which we'll actually start with, is summer boating preparation. How to get ready to get the boat back on the water.
Very important.
Very important.
So we don't really call it de-winterizing or anything like that, but I like how you said it. It is season prep, right?
Yes.
Making sure that you have everything in check before you are putting your boat in the water for the season, right?
Mm-hmm.
So number one for me is, or not even for me, it should be for everybody. And it's the first thing in the article is making sure you have all your paperwork in check, registrations, insurance.
Absolutely.
All of the above, any type of certifications that you need, those are the most important, right?
Right. And I know that some people are going to say, well, that might be a little obvious, but things that you have to remember with insurance is that it might be different considering where you're based. So some places have insurance offerings from like 2 to 3 months. Some have 2 to 3 years. So you always want to double check to make sure that your insurance plan is what you thought it was.
And
right?
It's the same with registrations. Registrations are not always the same length in every state.
Exactly. The second thing is if you have the skill set, great. Absolutely run with it. And if not, lean towards getting some professional services done, where you have a professional looking at all the things that your boat will need to operate properly when you do go out. Right?
Absolutely. So let's go over a couple of the simple ones that really need to be checked.
We have a top 5 list for you, so check this out.
So making sure with checking your engine, right? Mm-hmm. You want to make sure that you're changing your oil filter.
Yes.
Those are two things to start off with right away. After they've been sitting for so long that you should just go ahead and do it. Be ready, right?
Absolutely. Checking the out drive because, you want to make sure that
before you start the motor, that everything is copacetic, you're happy, you're not going to do damage on your first trip out. That would be the worst, right?
Absolutely.
You get all excited to be out on the water and then yes. No fun. The next one is testing your battery.
Right.
Super simple. Very easy to do.
Yep.
Test your battery. Make sure it's got the right volts. Make sure it's got the right amperage. If it needs to be charged, then check again.
Right.
And if it doesn't work out at that point, replace.
Then you know it needs to be replaced.
Going down the list, now we're going to get into your cooling system. Engine coolant, or the cooling system in general, depending on what you're working with. Making sure that we check all the hoses for any cracks, leaks, anything that's going to present itself as a problem.
Yes. The last thing you want is your boat overheating.
Yes. That's definitely a problem that you don't want to have to deal with, especially when you're out on the water.
And even if while you're checking, you don't see cracks or you don't see holes, something that needs to be replaced, if you can identify, hey, this hose might need to be replaced sometime soon, better to have and do it. Yeah, better to have that taken care of.
Better to do it now than later, right?
Exactly.
Because later means that less enjoyment down the road. So the next one is along the same lines, but checking your water pump, right? As well as the thermostat.
Yep.
And these are simple things to do. Maybe a little bit more on the technical side.
Yeah.
But they're things that you can do yourself, absolutely.
Yeah. And then we also want to remind you that it's kind of recommended that around 200 hours these elements are replaced.
Right.
But if you're not there, then it's just as simple as double checking.
Right. And if you don't know when they're supposed to be replaced, go to your owner's manual. Take a look. Get online. Find out.
Yeah.
Again, it's better to take care of it now than it is to have a problem later.
That's right. And then the last tip on the top 5 is kind of my favorite because for me, it really leads into the social aspect of it, right? Consider joining a local marina. Now, the reason you want to consider joining a local marina are the benefits that you get from it. Okay. Now, a lot of times people, they're happy to leave from their house. Maybe they have a lift at home and they just go from there. And that's what they use as their home base for socializing and getting out on the water. But maybe you're traveling somewhere where you want to have a slip. Well, if you have a membership to a marina, then you have a priority reservation for slips. You might also get benefits like discounts at retail shops, for local services at the fuel dock. There's a lot of benefits to having, if it's not your home base, a secondary base for your travels on the water.
And especially if you have cruising plans.
Exactly.
You have cruising plans month in advance. Book them far in advance.
That's right.
Last thing you want to do is wait till the last minute and be told, my favorite word, no. Ian hears no a whole lot.
What sucks is I got you to say yes on our last take, and now I don't have evidence.
Now you don't have
because it didn't work.
Sorry.
All right, so transitioning to the next subject matter, social sandbars, which I love. It's in my nature to be social.
Absolutely. We all know that you're very, very social.
I'm a talking person. I love people.
But it is. It's something that is especially for us in the Southeast, that we love our sandbars. It's a great place to enjoy the water, to, go to, get out of the water, be in the water. But there's a lot of things that go into this.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
we'll go over a lot of them. So we've listed, what, you said 18?
I counted 18 sandbars.
So we won't go over the sandbars, but what I'd really like to know is, and please put it in the comments, what sandbars you're going to. Why are you going to these sandbars? Because fill us in because we can cover them.
Has a different, vibe to it. Some are family friendly. Some are big about bringing pets along. Some are just for the socializing and parties and, okay, cool.
Absolutely.
So which one do you like going to? What is it that makes you like to go to that one regularly?
We're very interested in knowing.
Yes.
So please leave it in the comments where you're going, what sandbars you're going to, and why.
That's right. Now, the element that we want to touch on with this content is specifically how to prepare for going to the sandbar.
Yes.
Because, it's not like just going to the beach. And even the beach takes planning, right? There's a little extra that you want to plan when it comes to the sandbar.
I'll lead off because I'm on the fair side.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So everybody knows. I'll just turn red immediately. So the most important thing to me is going to be sunblock.
Yeah.
Right? You make sure that I put on sunblock, and I recommend it for everybody because as boaters, we know that you're getting twice as much sun. You're getting sun from direct sunlight, and then it's bouncing off the water and hitting you again. To be able to enjoy...
It reminds me, I'm going to go a different way this time. That you said almost word for word. Have you seen the movie Fools Rush In?
Oh, yeah.
With Matthew Perry? Yeah. I love it. And so when they're out on the water and it's like, I think if we stay under the shade, we'll be fine. And the Hispanic dad goes, no, like the water is like a mirror. It reflects back, and you still get burnt.
Oh, you will.
And then they come up the escalator looking like lobsters.
I've been a lobster enough in my life that now as I'm older, I try to avoid it to my best of my ability. So 100 SPF. Yeah. Just multiple applications throughout the day.
Get yourself some sunblock. And then if you can.
It's so important. You don't want to be carved up like me. That's for sure.
You can bring hats. You can bring long sleeve shirts, especially if they have, the UPF protection.
Yes. Protect yourself against the sun. We have way too many options to do it.
And one that people might forget is lip balm. Specifically with a sunblock to it.
I've had my lips sunburned, and it's the most
nightmare.
Excruciating pain.
Yeah, I've only seen people suffer.
It's horrible.
I'm lucky I produced my own kind of sunblock, but I've seen people get their lips sunburned.
Your melatonin is a much different shade than mine.
Yes, it is.
So yes, that's by far one of the biggest things that you should prep for.
Absolutely.
I think the next thing on my list is hydration.
Yes.
So we've talked about this numerous times.
Yes.
Being an athlete in my previous life, hydration is very important. But hydration in general is one of the things that can protect you from so many things. And it's so important, simple to take care of. So bringing water, and it's not just water.
Right.
We talked about this when we filmed this the first time. It's also the electrolytes. A lot of people don't realize it. And Ian can really, educate us on this and probably go into this in real depth. But
I can, but that would be a whole. I could give you guys a whole 2-hour lesson on.
It's making sure that you have some way to replenish those electrolytes as you're losing water throughout your body and you're sweating. It's completely natural, but you're also losing salt.
That's right.
So replenishing those salts.
And there's easy ways to do it, right? You can have drinks like Gatorade or Powerade. You can also buy electrolyte mixtures, packets, right? So you have regular water bottles and electrolyte mixtures, so you can alternate between electrolyte water and regular water because you want a balance of the fluids that you're taking in and the electrolytes that you're taking in, because too much electrolytes is just as bad as not enough electrolytes.
I've always said it. You will damage yourself, and it's just better to be prepared.
Right.
And you'll enjoy the rest of the day later on instead of having to spend time recovering.
And this is why a lot of times it's easier for people to just get Gatorade, but if you're not a fan of Gatorade or Powerade, then the electrolyte mixes are easy, they're convenient.
My favorite?
They take up less space.
Yep.
So
my favorite's the Pedialyte. It's not just for a sick kid.
Oh, dude.
Pedialyte Advanced Care for me, it comes in the little packets. I put it in my water.
Pedialyte in college was my
I can only imagine.
Yeah. Well, I played rugby, mind you. Okay, so it was a sports
because
thing.
of the rugby, right? In college.
That's right.
I'm sure there wasn't other activities that you needed Pedialyte to recover from.
So the next thing I want to touch on is actually the enjoyment of the Sandbars. Food, right? You want to prepare in advance. I know you're probably going to be grilling. There's some people that have grills that they attach like to the back end, so they grill
to the stern.
While they're there.
Absolutely.
Yes, stern. Sorry, I'm just running through the ideas real quick. Some people already have like grills on the vessel, but making sure that anything that goes with the food that you're grilling, that you have prepared in advance, right? So if you're gonna have tomatoes, lettuce, onions, all of that.
You're prepping at home, be ready to go. It's gonna help you enjoy being at the Sandbar even more. You're not gonna be that person stuck on the boat, prepping food, cooking food, and not getting to enjoy the social aspects.
Exactly.
Right?
It's just grill, put together, eat, and enjoy. It's so much easier, so much nicer.
The more prep work you can do ahead of time leads to more enjoyment while you're there.
Yeah. Now, there's one last point I want to make, and then a reminder. Right. So the last point is you want to bring extra trash bags. You want to always double check that you have extra trash bags.
Do not leave trash anywhere, right?
We're stewards of our home. We're stewards of nature. We really are. Mostly because we're the ones that can do the most damage to it. We should be the ones that intentionally protect it. And having the extra trash bags, being a good person, maybe, a neighbor boat needs trash bags, and you can see that their trash is piling up. You could just offer them a trash bag. Like, hey, I have some trash. Do you guys need some help with that?
Absolutely.
It's
so I leave it this way. What's the saying? Take only pictures, leave only footprints.
That's right.
Right? So important.
Yeah.
I mentioned it before. I'm a big fan of picking up extra trash.
Yeah.
Right? If there's trash that you see, pick it up. Do everybody a favor. Let's leave the place better than we left.
That's
better than we arrived.
The quote that you just used, take pictures, leave only footprints. So that reminds me, take some reef shoes. Right?
Yes, reef shoes are important.
Not all sandbars are soft sands.
I always wear reef shoes. It's very important. You never know. It's just better to protect your feet and be able to enjoy the rest of the day than to end up with a cut on the bottom of your foot. No, thank you.
And now the last reminder, which I think is the most important.
Have a plan. So if you're going to be the person that arrives early and leaves early, that doesn't mean that you want to anchor all the way in up against the sandbar, because as more people arrive, well, it's going to be hard for you to leave, right? And create a safety situation as well, possibly. Oh, yeah. So know what you're doing. Have your plan. So if you're going to arrive early and you want to leave early, midday, whatever it may be, maybe you don't want to, anchor very close to the sandbar. You anchor a little bit further away and swim in or raft in or whatever it is that you want to do, paddleboard in, whatever it may be, just so you can exercise some safety in that manner, as well as make it easier for yourself. So that's part of it. Yeah. So that's really it for Sandbars.
Well, I had the
You have one more?
That wasn't the reminder I was thinking.
Well, what's your reminder?
I was thinking of don't drink and drive.
Oh, very, very
That's
important.
what I was thinking of.
So number one rule, and there's zero tolerance for it on the water.
That's right.
Like literally zero tolerance.
Yes.
is
So
no drinking,
no
and
drinking and captaining. So if you plan on drinking, then plan on having a sober captain help you with your trip, right?
100%.
And if you plan on being the captain, then plan on not drinking. And it's very easy. It's a very easy decision to make in advance.
Just because you're not going to drink doesn't mean you can't enjoy it.
Exactly.
So it's super important because the Coast Guard or your local law enforcement is going to have a zero tolerance policy for it.
That's right. And they know that the social side of Sandbars includes drinking. So you want to make sure that you're squared away.
I will say many times they're actually stalking you.
Yeah, I mean, they could be.
100%.
I wouldn't know.
And it's their right to do it,
so.
to be honest with you.
Well, yeah. I mean, let's face it. We want to minimize injuries on the water, especially if they're caused by drinking.
Right.
So
you can have severe consequences for a mishap on the water.
Yeah. All right.
So,
and
that's really it. So biggest thing that I'm going to take away from this is we really want to know what sandbars you're visiting, why you like that sandbar. So please leave it in the comments. And then lastly,
I'm Ian Sneed.
I'm James Anderson. Make sure that you come back. Check us out next week.
That was good. I was like, what?
Those are manly claps.
Those were good.
Finally.
Yeah, not like the first round. Hopefully we only have to do 2 takes of this.
So I'm actually going to look good in this one?
No, that's not. I don't have those editing skills.
Oh, boy.
All right, let's do some silence. Not because it just got awkward, but...
Oh, it got awkward. You know, I did bring a shovel in the back of my truck today. This shovel might have your name on it with that comment.
It's okay. You know you're handsome. My opinion won't affect that.
Still hurts.
I'm not putting that in the bloopers.
Make sure I look taller than you. Slouched in my chair here today.
You know what the trick is, right?
It's not the pillow.
Get rid of the pillow.
I know. It is. It's just, oh, it's so much better.
Isn't it?
Yeah. No, I like it with no pillow.
Look how much taller you are.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
I've been using the pillow this whole time.
Yes, you have.
It's because you want to look taller than me.
Ready?
I'm ready.